Greetings, pod fans! It's day 6 of Pod Vida. Pod videos himself every day in April. And in the past year with, nothing else to do, I've played a lot of games. And today, as a special treat for you, I'm gonna talk about some of them. I hope this gets entertaining. So, a little side note, I really like roguelite, whatever. I don't really care, and we'll get into that probably in another video in the future, but you may notice that there's a theme in these, that they're roguelikes. It's just what I like to play, it's what makes my brain happy, so yeah. So first up on the list, and absolutely no one is surprised, it's Hades. This is probably Game of the Year for 2020 for me, maybe one of the best games I've ever played. I'm really close to getting all of the achievements. I'm missing about 4, and I've got 123 hours played, but I just burned myself out because I played so much of this game. It just ticked all of the boxes and made me so happy. If you haven't played it, or you haven't looked into it, just play Hades, or just listen to the soundtrack, or just, I don't know, do something to do with Hades, because it's perfection. About as close to a 10 out of 10 game as I've seen in a long time. Next up we have Loop Hero. I haven't played a whole load of this, but I got it recently, and it's fun. The idea is you're a little man who walks around a circle, and you don't really get to interact with yourself. You don't get to move, you move automatically. All you can do is place things on the map. For example, you can place meadows and you can place rocks. Meadows will give you health regen for every day that passes, and rocks will give you health based on a certain number of things. Also, you can place things that make more enemies. That sounds silly, right? Why would I want to make it harder for myself? Why am I putting in enemies? Well, the more enemies and the more difficult enemies you fight, the better loot you get. The loot you add onto your character, and eventually, after a certain while, I think it's a certain number of things placed, a lich will spawn, and you'll have to fight the lich. You have no way of stopping yourself, so you must go there and fight him, which you want to be as powerful as possible, so you'll want to place these things to make you more powerful, to get the loot, to fight the things, to do all of the stuff. It's a weird one. It's very pixel arty, but it is fun to just sit there and, grind out. So yeah, if you're into just playing the same thing for hours and hours and just having a laugh, Loop Hero, it's nice. Next up we have Slay the Spire, another roguelite. This is a deck building game where you fight enemies. When you beat an enemy, you get to choose a card, and you're building up a deck. Each of the cards are attacks or status effects or armor that you can add for a turn, and you're trying to build up a deck that just works. You don't want to take every single card because it'll fluff out the deck and you won't draw the things that you want. It's really fun. I'm not going to explain it very well because I haven't given myself a whole load of time for explaining, but Slay the Spire I've spent a lot of time playing, and it's just my go-to. I'm not feeling great, I'm very tired, but I can click the cards and do the things. It's very fun. And next up, a very similar game. We've got Monster Train. Monster Train is you are the last denizens of hell, because hell has frozen over, and you are on a train trying to get to the heart of hell to relight the pyre, or you're using your pyre to relight the flames of hell. So you go through the circles of hell, and at the edge of each circle you fight some angels. And it's another thing where you pick up cards, but this time you're able to place monsters, and these monsters and demons will fight for you. It's really fun, and it's again just a strategy thing where you're trying to pick up the correct cards and upgrade your deck in a way that just works, and you build up kind of combos and loops and things like that. It's very cool. If Slay the Spire sounded fun, they feel similar, but each one is fresh. And now we've moved out of rogue similar territory, and we're going to talk about some co-op fun things that I've played. So we've got Labyrinthine. This is a game that I played with my friends. The idea is you're a group of friends and you wander into a closed down hedge maze, because people have gone missing in the past. You walk through this maze that is filled with monsters and spooky things, and you're trying to complete puzzles and get through stuff. There's also a really annoying mechanic where you're walking in a group through the hedge maze, and roots will just spawn between you and your friends. I got left behind so many times because I didn't want to be out the front, because that's where the spooky things are, and then roots just appear in front of me. My 3 friends go and for the next 20 minutes, I am trying to find my way through the maze to get back to them, and crying in a corner for a lot of it. So Labyrinthine is fun. It's early access as far as I remember. Last time we played it was, and they're releasing things as time goes on, but it's fun. And then we have a game called Devour, another spooky co-op game where you need to sacrifice goats, basically. So you play as members of a cult. The cult leader is after doing some kind of ritual and merging with a goat demon, so she's wandering around murdering you, and you have to burn a certain number of goats. I think it's 9 or 10, I can't remember. It's a lot of sneaking around, trying not to get caught by things, and generally just kind of getting spooked. It does jump scares really well. I do not like spooky games, and the past two I've talked about are the just thing, and guess what? Another spooky game next. But yes, Devour, really fun if you've got a group of people, and with quarantine looking like it's going to last for the rest of my life, I'm enjoying co-op games online. And now, co-op game that I assume you've heard of. If not, yeah, get on it, it's fun. This is Phasmophobia. If you haven't heard of it, brief description is, you know those TV shows where these, like, idiots with their, like, old cameras and their night vision settings go to haunted houses and try to catch ghosts? That's this game. There's no fighting the ghosts, there's no anything like that. You're just trying to identify what kind of ghost it is. So there is a lot of hiding, there is a lot of yelling, trying to get its attention. There's a lot, and it's really fun. This is kind of taking the world by storm at the moment, or well, you know, it did take the world by storm. I think people are still playing it. I'm enjoying it. You just kind of go into a haunted house and yell the name of a ghost quite a lot until it appears, and you get real sad. But you gather clues, and then you get to figure out what kind of ghost it is, and then you get money, and then you get to do it all again, but with better gear. Very cool. And finally is a game that only came out last week. It's Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch. I got this day of release, and I'm having so much fun. You get a dog. They've given you a dog. You are now too powerful of fighting monsters because you've got a dog. This is a super fun game that you can play solo. There's a lot of solo content where you go out and you fight the monsters, and you got your little cat, Palico, and your dog is... what's it? It's a pal, I don't know, I've just been calling it a dog, so I'm not going to look that up. So you go fighting that way, or you can chill out with up to 4 of your friends and go fighting monsters that way, where you get to bring one of your pets with you. I always bring the dog because you get to hop onto its back and go fast. And if you don't have friends who play the game, you can always just play online by, you know, hunting monsters with strangers, which, you know, whew, that's exactly what I want for my life. But yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I need to play more, but I'm sleepy, and there's a lot of April to get through. So yes, let me know what games you've been playing. Let me know if any of those sound interesting to you. I know I don't describe things well. I just kind of go off the cuff on it quite often. Like, I've got notes, but it's just the title of the game, so I remember those. And if you don't have a comment to leave for the first 2 questions, how do you like your tea? I like mine with, like real strong breakfast tea, like it's berries, with a drop of milk. Just a drop, just to give it a little bit of color. So let me know the answers to any of those things. And I'll talk to you tomorrow for day 7. Ooh, we're zooming, Sloan.